Hello everyone, welcome to the Adkup show. Today we are diving into why the total fertility rate TFR is dropping across the globe. So without wasting time, let's get into it. First up, let's define TFR or total fertility rate. It's the average number of kids a woman would have if she lived her entire reproductive life under the current fertility conditions of her society. So if you're in a country where the TFR is below 2.1, that means on average, a women aren't having enough kids to replace the population without immigration. Now, let's take a trip back in time to understand how we got here. Historically, the total fertility rate, the TFR, was sky high and for good reasons. In the pre-industrial era, that is before 18th century, life was very tough. Infant mortality rate was high. Think 1 in 3 or 4 children not making it to adulthood. So families had a lot of kids, not just for the joy of a large family, but as an insurance policy. More children meant more hands to work on farms, more supports for aging parents, and a higher chance that some would survive to adulthood. Overall, humans were assets during the pre-industrial era. By the way, the problem of falling TFR is not new. This problem dates back to the Roman era or even before that. And the weird thing about this problem is that nobody was able to solve this problem. I know in some cases TFR did recover, but overall things didn't change much. Now, a lot of people might think that TFR and then population fell during the last decades of Roman Empire because of disease and wars. But the counter argument to this could be that TFR fell in elite class also, which had better access to medical facilities of that era. There could be many other unknown reasons behind this. Now, coming back to the Industrial Revolutions, things started to change. Better living conditions, sanitations, and eventually healthcare meant fewer children died young. This, coupled with urban migration where child labor became less necessary, led to the first major drop in TFR. People started to see the benefits of smaller family, less strain on resources, more attention per child, and importantly, less risk of poverty. Fast forward to the 20th century and we see another dramatic shift. After World War II, the baby boom happened, but it was followed by a significant decline. The introduction of effective contraception methods like the pill in 1960s gave people unprecedented control over family size. Women's role were changing too. Education opened the door to careers and the idea of women solely as homemakers began to fade. By the way, this era of 1960s saw the growth of service sector where services started becoming a major contributor to economy. This period also saw the rise of what we might call demographic transition in many countries. As societies became wealthier, people invested more in fewer children, focusing on education and quality of life rather than quantity. By the late 20th and early 21st century, we were in a totally different era. Globalization was at its peak, and it brought not just economic changes, but cultural changes too. Exposure to different lifestyles and values made people more open to smaller family sizes or even childlessness. This was the time when we saw companies like Google and Microsoft and many other service-led enterprises gaining popularity. And these companies required less manual work, which gave women an opportunity to become a major player in economy and various political trends. Moreover, women were less pressured to conform to traditional roles, leading to later marriages, fewer children, and sometimes choosing career over family or balancing both in the ways that weren't possible before. Now, improvement in birth control technology alongside better education on family planning meant people could decide more precisely when or if to have children. With better healthcare, child mortality rate dropped even further, reducing the need for large families as a hedge against loss. So from the era where having 8 or 10 children was common to now where in many parts of the world having 1 or 2 is the norm, or even 0. The shift in TFR reflects broader societal changes. It's about economics, health, culture, and the evolving role of individuals within the society. The journey shows us that TFR isn't just a number. It's a mirror reflecting how societies evolve, adapt, and redefine what family means in different times. Alright, now let's talk about current stats because numbers don't lie. In 2023, we saw jaw-dropping fertility rates. Take South Korea for instance. Their TFR plummeted to 0.72. That's right, less than 1 child per woman on average. That's really a bad number, to be honest. It's like if you line up 2 women, only one has a kid between them. This isn't just a blip, it's a trend signaling potential demographic upheaval. Then there is Singapore, where in 2023, the resident TFR hit 0.97, dipping below 1 for the first time. This means they're officially in the super low fertility club, which has serious implications on an aging population and labor market. But it's not just Asia. In Italy, the TFR is around 1.24, and Spain isn't far off at 1.19. It's been dealing with this for a while now, but these numbers keep going down every year. By the way, European Union spends close to 30% of its GDP on welfare, and major chunk of that spending goes on to pensions and old age cares, etc. And this percentage is growing every year. Now you figure out what it means for the future of European societies. Now contrast that with some African countries. Niger, for example, has a TFR of 6.1, which is among the highest in the world. This shows how diverse fertility rate patterns are globally. The reason behind Niger's high TFR is that it's an agrarian economy and the majority population is below poverty line. So in this case, more people means more human capital, which is considered as an asset in such societies. Now consider this. After World War II, we saw rapid industrialization in various parts of the world. Now, urbanization is one of the features of industrialization. This means more people started moving towards cities, which meant humans are no longer asset but are now expense. People need skills to survive in urban world, which means they have to first spend 20 or 25 years of their lives on learning skills. This wasn't the case in village economies, and over the period of time, everything became expensive and unaffordable due to progress and demand. This phenomena played a major role in collapsing the TFR. So what is the solution to this problem? Should countries de-urbanize or should people start adopting old norms? Well, there is no exact answer to this. As I said earlier that historically nobody was able to solve this problem. However, some governments are throwing money at the problem, offering incentives like child benefits, parental leave, or even tax breaks. But these solutions aren't able to solve the problem. So finally, why is TFR falling? Well, it's a complex mix of economics, societal change, policy, health, and even environmental concerns in some cases. This isn't just a trend, it's reshaping societies, influencing everything from economies to how we plan for the future. I want you to think about this. Only around 18% of the world's population is in the middle and rich class. Rest are poor and struggling. This means the majority of production, consumption, and trade is done by this 18%. And according to the trend, this 18% population is now getting old and can't be replaced because there are not enough skilled and developed people available. So in this case, what do you think the economic model will look like in the future? Write your thoughts in comment section. I would love to read your thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into demographics, hit the like button, subscribe for more. Until next time, stay curious.